The book of 2nd Esdras, 13th chapter, starting at the 13th verse. And there came much people unto him, wherefore some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and other some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servants these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that were laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet is it easier for him that is in danger to come into these things, than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that will happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the things that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom Father Yahweh the highest hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creation, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my Son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overtake him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be shown to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my Son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor, by the law which is like unto me. Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. It's your brother DL. The name of tonight's message is A Blessed Time. A blessed time. So, brothers and sisters, I understand that title probably is going to need a little explanation. And the reason that I say that is because right now we're sitting at a time where in the flesh things don't look so good, right? You got the red horse riding. You got China sending all of a sudden sending balloons, weather balloons over here. The United States just went into the Philippines, and that's going to be all the justification that China needs to go into Taiwan. So we're sitting at the precipice of a major conflict, right? You got the proxy war that's been going on over there in Russia, and now all of the Western nations are sending tanks and heavy weaponry over there to fight the proxy war against Russia. And that's usually how these wars start, brothers and sisters. They start by proxy, and then that stuff goes hot. So we got that going on. We got North Korea acting a nut. We got wars in the streets here, brothers and sisters, where the white supremacists and the far left people are about to go at it. So, brothers and sisters, we're seeing everything that was promised in the book of Revelation, where there would be conflicts. We got the craziest silliness going on in the leadership of this country and other countries. All you see is this clown show, with these inbreds constantly on TV going on about nothing. I mean, there's no such thing as news anymore, brothers and sisters. So you got that weird stuff going on. We sitting at the precipice of a famine, brothers and sisters, where the rivers have gone dry, the lakes have gone dry, the climate has changed, as it was in Joseph's time, where there were 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine. We knew that was something that happened, but what we're witnessing today is how. Because if you look at what they say about this situation with the drought, they say we're getting the same amount of rain. They're getting the same amount of snowpack in the mountains. It's just not going into the reservoirs. Why? Because the atmosphere has changed, brothers and sisters. In other words, the Most High has taken his hand off of those balances in the ecosystem that kept things flowing. So, brothers and sisters, we're standing at the precipice of a famine. Egg prices are as high as they are because they killed off millions of chickens. We've seen crops be destroyed all through California, all through the Midwest. So, brothers and sisters, look, we are seeing the horses running through the land. And when you look at things like COVID and this triple-demic and all this stuff, so these things are now common. All these injections that they gave these people, and this stuff is not cured. They're just basically telling them that they're going to have to live with this stuff from now on. So, brothers and sisters, you got the red horse, you got the black horse, you got the pale horse. You know exactly what happened after the climate change situation in Joseph's time. The next thing that Genesis tells us in the 47th chapter is that the money faileth. So, brothers and sisters, we see what's about to happen. Okay, we see what's about to happen. So you probably want to know why it is that I would say that this is a blessed time. And brothers and sisters, you really have to be grounded in the fact that there's two dimensions to our existence at all times that we're here on this proven ground. There is the flesh. There is our bodies in this ecosystem. Okay? But we have to remember that we are spiritual creatures. We are a spirit that walks around in a body. So with all of the craziness that we see in the earth, we have to realize that's just one aspect of our existence, brothers and sisters. But in the spirit realm, this is a blessed time. And when I look at this reading of scripture, this whole book, actually, the second book of Esdras, or the fourth book of Ezra, or the revelation of Ezra, was a conversation that the Most High had with his prophet Ezra. And he's running down and showing him the things that are going to happen in the end. And just like the prophets, just like Joshua, when he saw these things, he got weak, he fainted, he fell out. So let's look at verse 13.
For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that were laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils, in many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet is it easier for him that is in danger to come into these things, than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that will happen in the last days.
So basically what Ezra is saying here, he came to the same conclusion that I would have came to if I would have saw these times, living in the times that he lived in. Basically he's saying that the people that pass away before all of this nastiness happens, that they're more blessed than what the people who were left behind would be. And that's the conclusion I would have came with, man, brothers and sisters. Look, if I saw the things that I see in the people, if I saw the things that I see in the men with these pimping of women, and if I saw the things with these women that don't look like women anymore, brothers and sisters, and then I saw all the things that they were doing, and I saw all the things that were going on in the world, that would have been my reaction, is to say that truly, Father, taking them away, taking the righteous away from that, would have been a blessing in itself. And really, brothers and sisters, when I read the next verses from the middle of verse 20, I didn't get this part at first. It really took some time for this to sink in on me. So in verse 22, when he said this about those that are left behind, verse 22,
whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead.
He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. Now, brothers and sisters, this took a little bit. But what he's saying here is that the world is going to begin to differentiate between those that have faith and works. Those are complete people, brothers and sisters. Those are people that are not halfway in, halfway out. Those are people whose actions are consistent with what they profess out of their mouth. And brothers and sisters, you get a ton of people right now that claim to be about the business of the Most High in this time, that argue about nothing, that go on with these crazy doctrines that don't mean anything, that aren't even going to hold up when these judgments kick in. You're not going to see a bunch of vegetarian Hebrews out here when there's no Walmart. And that's why I keep asking people when they're on this thing about vegetarianism, do you have any seeds? Do you have any land? It's paper thin, brothers and sisters. They have a faith, but they don't have works that match the faith. What this passage of scripture is telling us is that he that shall endure the peril of his time and kept himself, they will fall into danger. What that means is that people that are supposed to be close to them, people that are supposed to care about them, are going to begin to turn on them. See, if you have seeds in land and then you got one of these fakers around you, and you protect your oil, and hey man, no, you can't just come over here and take what you need. You're going to fall into danger. So this, brothers and sisters, is why we had to separate ourselves from them. Those that fall into danger are such that have faith and works towards the Almighty. Know this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. Now, there is another piece of scripture that was required for me to understand this line, and I'm going to read it to you right now. So, brothers and sisters, Matthew, the 13th chapter, 15 through the 17th verse explains what the angel was breaking out to our brother Ezra. And this is the words of the Messiah, and he's speaking to his disciples. Matthew 13, 15 through 17 reads this way. For the people's heart is waxed gross, their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. So, brothers and sisters, what the Messiah is telling the disciples is that their eyes were seeing the fulfillment of the Most High's word. Brothers and sisters, we live in a time of fulfillment. We live in a time where the things that have been prophesied, all of these horrible things that we see, brothers and sisters, it's a blessed time because we see the hand of the Most High. We see the fulfillment of his word. We see him keeping his promises. We see him being faithful to deliver us. And that is what the angel is describing for our brother Ezra. He's telling him, those that have passed away are not as blessed as those that will witness what it is that the Most High will do in the earth. In that time of fulfillment, brothers and sisters, started with our Messiah's ministry. It seems like a long time ago. 2,000 years seems like a long time to us because our lifespans are short. But you got to remember heavenly time, brothers and sisters. You got to remember that. One day is as 1,000 years. So that time of fulfillment that the Messiah is telling his disciples that their eyes and ears are blessed to see and hear, it started 2 days ago. It hadn't been that long, brothers and sisters. Heavenly time, it's not been that long. So we are at the end of that fulfillment. We're at the end of what started during that time. You see, it looks like hell in the flesh. It looks like
starvation. It looks like war. It looks like deception. It looks like all of these things that are supposed to be bad things, brothers and sisters, and they are in the flesh. It's the manifestation of the end of sin. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get worse than what we see. It's going to get stupid, brothers and sisters. Because in addition to because one of the things that was foretold about this time is Romans 1:28, where people's minds would go reprobate. And that's what you see. That's what you see right now. You got outright devils that are trying to use the scripture to justify feeding their flesh. People calling themselves Hebrews, Israelites, brothers and sisters. I just saw something on here where this nigga went on here and told these women it's okay for them to grind their crotch together because they go specifically say in the book you can't do that. Oh, brothers and sisters, there's nothing in a lot of these folks. They don't have enough integrity just to go on out in the world and do what they want to do. They got to be over here trying to feed on light, trying to cause people to go astray, cause women to go astray that want the Most High. And I mentioned that in another message. There ain't nothing that's that low. There is nothing that is as low and filthy and wicked and dirty and nasty as that. There's plenty of places in this world right now that some freak can go and put his penis, but he needs to be over here where there's light. And they don't understand that's a vampire, that's a night creature, that's not even a man. So brothers and sisters, it's all coming to pass. And if you're looking at it strictly from a flesh perspective, you're gonna miss it. The scriptures foretold of all of these things. This is a time of celebration. This is a time to be happy. This is a time to be just giddy in the Most High. Because if you know what He promised, you see it. You can look out the window every day and see it. So brothers and sisters, it's a blessed time. The signs are being fulfilled. The horses are rolling through the land, brothers and sisters. And Mystery Babylon, this Gentile nation, brothers and sisters, this is the best part almost. Just watching them lose their minds. They stole all of this water to begin with. And now what's about to happen? They're about to start fighting each other for the water that they stole in the first place. See, brothers and sisters, when the money fails, that whole system that they set up to rob us, to keep us away from the creation, to keep us away from the things that the Most High put down here for us, freely given to us by the Most High, when that is gone, most of these people are going to be gone. Brothers and sisters, we are looking at a mass extinction event. And if you still holding on to this world, if you still trying to find your life in this place, it's going to look real bad for you. See, brothers and sisters, if you live in the spirit, then you know that the first death, the death of this flesh, the rendering of your spirit from this flesh, that's nothing. That's temporary. That has to happen because we're eternal beings. Then, brothers and sisters, you got no reason to fear. You got no reason to despair, brothers and sisters, as long as you're with the Most High. So this is a blessed time. This is a blessed time. And what happens right after that blessed time, brothers and sisters?
And he shall order them that are left behind,
And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him.
So what comes after all of these things that we witness, brothers and sisters, is that the Messiah is going to crack the sky. And all of the nations that are at war with one another are going to come together behind the anti-Messiah. And they're going to try to fight against what they see coming out of the clouds, what they see coming out of the air. And brothers and sisters, he is going to reorganize and pull together our nation, the true ones. Not these knuckleheads you see out here, but the ones that have the seal of the Most High on them, the ones that have the full armor of the Most High on them. And he's going to order us for war, brothers and sisters.
Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another.
So as was promised, brothers and sisters, he's going to come for his people. And he's going to come in a way that blows the earth away. He's going to come to the astonishment of those that dwell on the earth. And brothers and sisters, the signs foretold, they're going to be fighting with one another. They're going to be back and forth with one another. This thing we see with China and Russia, this is just the beginning. This is just the start of what's about to happen. But he's going to come, and the entire world is going to be astonished with his coming.
And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my Son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overtake him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be shown to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hand.
And that, brothers and sisters, is exactly why it makes no sense to be on here day in, day out, arguing about what's his name. What we know what his name is not. How you say his name? Is it Yah? Is it Yah-Oh? Is it Ahia? Is it Yahweh? Is it? He's going to order us, brothers and sisters. That means that if we focus on those things that we have to do, like following his word, like writing our spirit, he's gonna give us his name. He's gonna give us the proper name of the Most High. He's gonna give us a new language. So it doesn't, all of this back and forth, all this, well, you don't say it right, bro, and you that's Lucifer, that's this, that. Brother, look, we know that he is the Most High. We know that he's been given many names. The question that Brother Yahya used to ask us is, regardless of the name, are you doing his word? Because he's going to give you the name. I'm going to give you the proper name, but are you doing the proper things? So he's going to order us, brothers and sisters. He's going to stand upon the Mount of Zion. Who do you think that is? He's going to stand on us. We're going to be prepared and the world is not going to be able to look at us. If We do his commandments as we're told, instead of arguing back and forth about, who got the right spelling, who got the right name, is this the right Hebrew letter? Am I supposed to eat meat? Am I supposed to eat vegetables? The scripture's clear. You're supposed to be following the commandments. You're supposed to be doing whatever's necessary to walk out whatever it is that he gave you to do until your time is up. We are all very clear on that.
In this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor, by the law which is like unto me.
So brothers and sisters, what the reading is telling us, what Revelation is telling us, what prophecy is telling us, is that our Father is coming down here. He's going to send our Messiah down here, brothers and sisters. These signs are his forerunners. These signs are to let us know that our brother Messiah is coming, and that he's going to fulfill his word, brothers and sisters, and that this is a blessed time, brothers. Look, I know it's hard. I know the world is getting crazy. Remember, you are the witnesses. You are the books that are going to be opened at the end of time. Your experiences, you have those experiences. Those experiences have been put on you because the Most High can trust you to walk through them. So brothers and sisters, walk through it. I know it's hard. I went to jail, brothers and sisters. I've been homeless like right now, if you really want to be technical about it. Walk through it, brothers and sisters. He chose you for a reason. Don't give up. It's a blessed time. It's not a cursed time, brothers and sisters. It's a cursed time if you live in this flesh. But for those that are with our Father, for those that are his witnesses, your eyes are blessed. The Messiah said as much. Many righteous and many prophets longed to see what you see every day, to hear what you hear every day. Why? Because it is the fulfillment, brothers and sisters. We're in a time of fulfillment. It's the fulfillment of the Most High's word. And you are the witnesses. So that's what I've been sent to tell you, brothers and sisters. It's a blessed time. It's a blessed time. So your brother DL is out. As always, I love you all. Shalom.